There is global outage by Microsoft systems getting a bug. In fact, Crowdstrike, the cybersecurity firm that services numerous industries, was down across parts of the world. This has created a chaos of sorts with several banking systems in hospitals, and also airlines being affected. Several flights have been grounded, and this has been happening since morning today for about 2-3 hours now. At least 3 major US airlines have grounded all flights. The same has also happened in India, with several important airlines putting out messages that the check-in processes are taking place on a manual basis, and passengers have to wait for long to get in their boarding passes. In fact, this is happening because of a cloud computing error, a bug that has crept into the Microsoft systems. Microsoft mitigation action progress is also happening. In fact, Microsoft has said that they are observing a positive trend in service availability, and in fact, Microsoft has also said that it is witnessing continuous improvements when it comes to mitigation actions, and multiple services are continuing to see improvements in the availability of mitigation services. But clearly, passengers across airports in the country are facing problems. Banks and hospital systems are also down, leading to crucial systems, essential services being down throughout the day. I have my colleague Ishika joining me tonight. Ishika, tell us what really is happening on the ground there. There are visuals of passengers who seem quite distressed because these are long queues. Airlines have resorted to manual check-ins now. This is what several airlines, including Indigo, have put out. Tell us what are the passengers saying with respect to their experiences?
Well, exactly, we are present here at the T3 terminal here, and let me show you that because of, the servers not, being down of the Microsoft, and because of this global Microsoft outage, all the systems, in fact, have been impacted here. We'll go here to the fellow passengers here, sir. हम जानना चाहेंगे कि ये जो system है जहाँ से आप boarding pass निकालते हैं, क्या वो काम कर रहा है?
ना, अभी काम नहीं कर रहा है, बस लास्ट तक जा रहा है, सबमिट कर रहे हैं तो वहाँ पे एरर का मैसेज दे रहा है।
एरर का मैसेज दे रहा है।
एयरलाइंस की तरफ से अभी कोई हमें इंटीमेशन नहीं गया है।
कोई भी कम्युनिकेशन नहीं हुआ। Did they tell you to come 2 hours early? Anything like that?
No, not yet. Any updation not provided by the airlines yet.
So, sir, because of the no problem of yours and certainly no fault of yours, the passengers like you are getting impacted here. Was there anyone here from the airline staff who came to help you regarding that?
No one came for help us, and also we didn't get any kind of message regarding this kind of issues is going on, and might be there is a delay in a flight, so that is not a good thing from airlines.
So, sir, what is the next step for you? Are you trying for any other?
We're just trying to go inside.
Then do it manually?
Yeah.
Manually. We have to do all the things manually, and we have to first check what kind of things are going on, and flight is on time or it is delay.
So even, sir, the display boards have gone black. I think that is also affecting you. And as you said, you have to get it manually. So a lot of chaos that you are experiencing here?
Yes, exactly. We are getting trouble for getting the actual information of what kind of airline delay, how many hours got the delay due to this error, and what is going on. So we have to get inside, and we have to check what exactly status about the airline and what the things will be done.
So as a passenger, sir, who has been impacted because of this, what do you want to say to the airlines and the airport authority?
Simple, clear communication has to be given to the passengers.
Same clear communication has to be done by the airlines.
So as you heard, the passengers here have been impacted here. You can see, in fact, there also, the machines are not, in fact, they are also impacted, so they are not operating. Here, we are showing you the space where you can get your boarding pass printed, but certainly the people here, the passengers here, they are facing a lot of problems, and we are showing you it on our screens as well as to how the server is impacted because of that, the global Microsoft outage. And here, we are showing you that please try again messages flashing on these systems where you get your boarding pass printed. Now, not just these systems, but even the display boards here, they have been impacted as well. In fact, there are several display boards here, which we have shown you earlier as well. They have also gone blank. Because of that, the people here, the passengers here, are not able to even check whether their flight has been delayed or not. So certainly kind of a chaos that that we are here, seeing here at the airport, at the Terminal 3 where we are present, and the passengers here say that there was no clear communication from the airline side. And certainly they also say that, there was no help also that was given to them when they reached the airport. No one, from the staff side came to help them out. So that also needs to be sorted, is what the passengers here, the impacted passengers here, have to say. Over to you.
Right, Ishika, what we hear is that the government is also taking cognizance of this issue, clearly because essential services are collapsing, and that the IT ministry is also likely to issue an advisory soon. Remember that millions of Windows users across the globe are experiencing the blue screen of death error, which is causing the system to suddenly shut down or restart. In fact, Microsoft in a message has said that this error is being caused due to a recent Crowdstrike update. Crowdstrike is basically a third-party application that looks at security features. Crowdstrike provides advanced cybersecurity solutions to Windows PCs, and that is an update is the reason why this outage has happened. According to reports, the bug has affected several companies, banks and government offices across US and Australia and also India. Microsoft has said that this started around 6 p.m. on Thursday with a subset of its customers experiencing issues with multiple services. But of course, what has happened now is several airlines have said that there is a sense that some of the flights will be grounded and the check-in processes could also go manual. I have NS Napinai, who is an expert, a cybersecurity expert, also founder of Cyber Sati Foundation, joining us. Ma'am, tell us what really happened, with respect to, this cyber, it's clearly not a cybersecurity bug, right? This is something to do with, an update. And of course, was it something that has happened in the past? And why do you think this has affected so many essential services at once?
We don't have the full details right now, so I can't go into the technical aspects. And as you know, I'm a lawyer, so I also don't risk moving into uncharted territory. But to just give you a little bit of a background on what exactly is happening, it is indeed a cybersecurity issue, because it's not always about a breach or a violation that you would, deem it to be cybersecurity. Any aspect which impacts critical infrastructure or critical services will also then fall within the category of cybersecurity. So here is a situation which reminds us that our increasing reliance on technology as a primary source may still be a little premature, and we are going to keep having hybrid processes where the fallback becomes a physical version. And that's not really good news when we're talking about technological advancements. So what does law have to really offer on this? Now, when you have a situation like this, the first and foremost is that a report is submitted of the problem and to certain, that's our emergency response team from the central government. And they also then come in to help in terms of ensuring that critical services are not delayed much. So if this issue happened, generally because of an update, the consequences of an update must be well within the knowledge of the organization that is responsible. And a resilience mode or a fallback or a quick bounce back plan is expected to be kept in place. So it cannot be really brushed aside in a casual manner to say it was merely an update, etc. Because what you're seeing is serious freezing of a critical service, and we are seeing the consequences of it right as we speak on our screens. So what we really need to look at is that, one, we need systems and processes in place which will ensure that victims are immediately intimated. It's not just about the airlines or just about the service provider. It has to be a cohesive whole which will work together in a process-driven manner. Okay. And with the process being given to us by a regulator.
Okay, resilience is the key word here. Thank you, Ms. Napine, for joining us. Dr. Amit Sarwal, editor of the Australia Today, also joins us. Sir, tell us what is happening with respect to Australia, because I did see that it is one of the countries that has been affected the maximum. A lot of reports have come in from Australia, especially from cities like Melbourne. When did you know that there was a bug and the kind of scale of impact that it has had?
So around 3 p.m., the report started coming in that there is some kind of outage at select systems in banks, retails, airports. Some of the hospitals were affected as well, but it was not widespread at that point of time. But so initially people here thought that it's one, again, a cyber attack that we used to have. We had one last year as well, late last year. But as the news started coming in from globally, particularly from US, the UK, and European countries, the government is as at around half an hour ago, just at 6 o'clock Australian time, they have had a meeting where they have said this is not a cyber attack. This issue is related to, as you by well everyone knows, that it's related to Microsoft and Crowdstrike, one of the service providers, and therefore it's not widespread. But yes, we have very similar scenes as you are just showing it to your audiences at Sydney Airport, Melbourne Airport. Melbourne Airport has just tweeted that they have appointed special pink vest or pink shirt volunteers to help maintain and manage the crowd and assist them, particularly the flights that are coming in, because the immigration checkouts have the blue screen of death. And most of the systems here in Australia have been automated, and that's one of the major problems. So one of the issues that, when I was out, I looked at certain people have to leave their shopping trolleys because they couldn't pay using their mobile phones, the pay ID, and therefore they couldn't shop. And this is weekend, so most people prefer to shop at weekend, Friday night, and then Saturday and Sundays are free. And you could actually see them feel helpless when they have to leave, shopping, the trolley full of goods, and most people do not carry cash here, so that's one of the things that's becoming really a nuisance at the moment. And I think the government is talking to Microsoft, but yes, people do not know how long will it take to fix this issue.
Thank you, Dr. Sarwal, for speaking to NDTV. We also spoke to government sources, and they're saying that the IT ministry could be issuing an advisory soon, and that the government is cognizant of this issue that's taking place. In fact, Métis sources are looking at it, but they've made it very clear that this is an issue that doesn't concern India. But of course, since essential services are breaking down, the ministry is looking into it seriously. I have my colleague Mohammad Ghazali also joining us from Delhi. Ghazali, since morning today, we did see a lot of systems collapse across banks, airports, and also media organizations. Our own newsroom, had so many systems that sort of collapsed. Tell us, what is the sentiment on ground and what kind of problems are people facing?
See, I visited around half a dozen banks, ATMs and hospitals in this particular area in GK and nearby areas. Most of the places, the operations are going smooth and they have not been impacted by this outage. But frankly, some of the systems are impacted in some companies, but it's not a widespread impact, because you could see the impact is largely on the airlines companies or the computers, the Windows systems and laptops which have Windows installed on it, and they're largely in the airline companies or at the airport. So the visuals coming around of the impact of this outage has been on the airlines, on the airport operations, but in banks, in ATMs, in hospitals, as well as in schools where you have widespread use of computers and laptops, there has not been any outage, or the impact of outage as being reported in other sectors.
Thank you, Ghazali, for joining us with those details. We have a caller, Jyoti from Bangalore. Jyoti, tell us, what are the problems that you face? Please go on.
And I'm already booked my tickets. But my daughter, who is traveling from San Francisco to Japan, is going back home, and she's stuck in Japan, Tokyo airport, because there's an outage there. So I thought I'll just keep you posted on that.
Thank you, Jyoti, for calling us. Millions of Windows users across the globe are experiencing the blue screen of death error, which is causing systems to suddenly shut down or restart. This is a global outage, and several citizens across the country are facing this. Shubham from Pune also joins us now. Shubham, tell us, what are the problems that you face today with this technical bug?
Yeah, when we logged in today morning, everything was working fine. And then at around 10:20 a.m. or 10:30, system got self-rebooted, and then we able to see the blue screen populated on the screen. And since then we are stuck with the Windows, and we are not able to do anything with it because of this glitch.
Right. And how are you coping with this? What are other workers saying? Is there a turnaround that you guys sort of figured out, or are you just waiting for the systems to sort of like, sort this bug out?
There is a turnaround which we have got, but it's of no use because it needs a recovery key, which is again stuck, and that particular system is also down to fetch the recovery key for like our system, at least for us. So we at least for now we have to wait for the update from their end only.
Have you faced something like this in the past? Can you tell us, or is this the first time that something like this has happened? And what kind of impact does this have on your work and also on your company's productivity? It's a Friday today, I know, but still, how are your colleagues dealing with this?
Yeah, this is for the first time. It was happened with AWS, but it was not relating to like this kind of thing, because it was relating to cloud earlier, 2-3 years back, where AWS for some zones, AWS was shut. But this is kind of big issue, we can say, because airports, hospitals, many places where Microsoft is majorly used and systems are down at that places.
Thank you so much for calling and speaking to NDTV. Let me also go across to my colleague Vishal, who sort of has been tracking this. In fact, he was the first to point this out to us. Microsoft, Vishal, in a message has said that this error has been caused due to a recent Crowdstrike update. We are all used to so many updates on our phones. Tell us, what do you think really caused this, and how serious is this? Because clearly this has been going on for 4 hours now across nations. There are banking services, airports, and also news services that have been sort of in some ways affected. Tell us the scale of this and also what could be the possible reasons.
So as far as the cause of this global outage is concerned, we are yet to pinpoint on the exact cause. However, the initial investigation by Microsoft has said that the security upgrade could be one of the reasons, and some reports suggest that this cyber security company called Crowdstrike could be one of the reasons. An update to that. So it's all happening right now as we speak. So across the globe, almost all the sectors, from hospital to travel to airline, millions of people across the globe have been facing issues as we speak, and it's been about 7-8 hours now. It was first spotted Thursday night US time in the US, and then Microsoft reported that they had solved the problem locally, but then it spread to other parts of the world like Poland, Japan, and then Australia. Australian government is holding an emergency meeting as we speak, and they could also declare a national emergency. However, they have said that critical infrastructure is yet to be affected. There are also reports coming in that some football games in Australia have been affected. So it hasn't left any sector of the society, this global outage. One caller earlier had said that he was not able to get admitted to a hospital because of an outage, because of this outage, and this blue screen is splashed across probably millions of screens across the globe, and Microsoft is yet to solve the problem. And on the other hand, CrowdStrike has come up with a statement, and reports suggest that they have said that this is not really their fault, but we have yet to confirm this. On the other hand, countries such as Australia, as I mentioned earlier, they have been meeting, and as you've been speaking, that Indian IT ministry will also soon release a statement. They have taken cognizance of this serious matter as it affects thousands, probably millions in India itself.
Absolutely, Vishal. CERTIN has also issued an advisory. This is the body that comes under the center, the department, the Ministry of Information Technology, MeitY, that looks at security of the country, security of systems in the country, and it basically says that it has been reported that Windows hosts related to CrowdStrike agent are facing outages and getting crashed. In fact, it talks about this, and it also suggests some workaround, saying that if hosts are still crashing and unable to stay online to receive the channel file changes, certain steps could be tried, including boosting the host normally, and it also advises users to check latest updates from Crowdstrike portal. So in that context, tell us how important would this advisory be, because clearly there is not much that the government can do, but because essential services are also breaking down, what would be the responsibility of the government in this regard?
So the government has not really, come out with a statement, but they have said that they will come up with a statement according to the sources. But as far as the response is concerned, India seems to be one of the least affected as of now, because a lot of services that have been affected in other countries, they seem to be unaffected here. For example, the National Stock Exchange is functioning properly as we speak. The airlines are affected. Airlines are the most affected here. They've had to adapt to manual check-ins, whereas usually they do online check-ins. So that's one of the biggest sectors that has been affected due to this. So what the government plans, that remains to be seen. Probably some expert would be called in to handle this problem. But the ball remains in Microsoft's court. Unless Microsoft solves this problem, millions across the globe will continue to face this. They have been saying in updates in the last 2-3 hours that they have been able to mitigate the damage, but it's sort of a repetitive statement that they have been given. The sectors across the globe still remain affected. London Stock Exchange, airlines, hundreds of flights have been grounded. People have not been able to look at the updates when they get to the airport. They have not been able to see anything. So the common people have also been affected.
Right. Thank you, Vishal, for speaking to us and also explaining all of that so clearly. Also joining me now is Pratibha from the Bengaluru airport. Pratibha, tell us, what are the passengers on ground saying? And let me also remind our viewers that Search In, which basically is a body under the Government of India that looks at security of IT systems across the country, especially government organizations, it has issued an advisory asking people to be careful and also asking people to look at some workarounds, which also some other tech sites have talked about. The ministry is expected, the minister is expected to come out with a statement soon, is what we hear, because essential services have also in some ways collapsed for some hours now. Pratibha, tell us, what is the sentiment at the Bangalore airport and how distressed are people?
Well, in fact, most passengers have said that the delays have been anywhere between 10 minutes and 30 minutes. And that hasn't really been such a chaotic situation for many of these passengers here. In fact, what you see behind me is the departure terminal. And that is where we did see quite a bit of a long queue there, mainly because manual check-ins are happening, and that is what has been causing the delay. But as far as the arrival terminal is concerned, most of them seem to believe that, yes, it was anywhere between 10 minutes and 30 minutes, and it wasn't really much of an inconvenience. That is the general sentiment. In fact, we also got a press release from the Bengaluru airport authorities where they did mention that several of the airlines, including Indigo, Air India Express, as well as SpiceJet, all of them have moved to manual check-ins now, and those are proactive measures that have been taken to ensure that no passenger is inconvenienced. No chaotic scenes as such, but what we also hear as far as Bengaluru is concerned is that some of the techies have been asked to go home, mainly because the systems haven't been functioning. They've been asked to get home. We are yet to get more reactions on that front, but as far as the Bengaluru airport, yes, pretty much peaceful so far. Back to you.
Right. Thank you, Pratibha, for joining us with those details. The global outage due to this Microsoft bug has disrupted functioning of several hospitals, banks, and also media organizations, supermarkets. But clearly, processes are being put in place. The government sources have said that they are cognizant of essential services breaking down. The minister could be issuing a statement soon. And Search.in, which basically looks at security of IT systems in the government sector, has also issued an advisory suggesting workarounds for people to resume their services.